The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Athletic is reporting new details about Aaron Rodgers' alleged meeting with the New York Jets. We'll talk about that and more. Will Parkinson joins us to break down the latest. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
I wanted this job. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. And I'm ready for it. It's all about the Jets. This is bigger than me. I look forward to this. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. If you missed it earlier, Joe Beningo joined us to react to the Aaron Rodgers news on our first show today. Before we bring on Will Parkinson, reminder, we're sponsored by Huga House. Get a Huga House hat, 15% off with promo code ASMAN at checkout. If you use my link in the description, you'll actually save 20%. So get a brand new hat. Huga House just released a bunch of new hats, winter beanies, and more. HugaHouse.com and use the promo code ASMAN or my link, and you'll save 20%. Let's say hello right now to Will Parkinson, the host of the TOJ podcast, who joins us now in his weekly spot on the show. Will, happy Tuesday, and the Jets are seemingly moving away from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, man. How's you were dominating down in New Orleans. We will be together in a couple weeks in Indy, so no big news to speak of, but happy to be here.
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday, the Jets are like, watch us dominate the news cycle. It really is amazing.
Nothing better than a Rodgers Jets combo to upstage an awful football game where Patrick Mahomes gets his brains beat in. Travis Kelce can't propose. Nick Wright's crying. It's just what a day.
I do enjoy the Nick Wright crying aspect. That is certainly enjoyable.
He can get trolled quite enough, to be honest.
Yeah, I need more nonstop.
I need just evisceration.
As far as Rodgers goes, we'll talk about what the Athletic put out there in regards to this meeting. But when do you think it's actually going to be like an official statement from the team? Like when do you think the Jets themselves
probably
will put
start of the
something
league year? It'd probably be the first day of the league year is what I would assume. Just to be an official transaction. I don't know that you'll get a statement, to be honest. Maybe they will, just to like try to make themselves look better, but I don't know even that he needs a statement. I think he'll go on McAfee next week and he'll talk, and I'm sure there'll be some shots at the Jets. There'll be some shots at Woody, I'm sure. I don't know if you're going to get a statement, man. I truly think you're going to get the same.
So they're not going to announce that they're releasing him. Like they're not going
to announce it. They'll just announce it like any other transaction. Like you'll see them. They'll post that the Jets have released quarterback Aaron Rodgers, and maybe in a press release they'll have a bio of he for the last 2 seasons. The whole write up. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can see them kind of just approaching this like as a business move and trying to like keep it pretty cut and dry. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I almost would respect it if that's more so if that's the case. And just like this was a business move, and like we're not, because like I feel like in some ways the Jets of the past would have been like a 19-minute montage video of like basically an NYJ Matt coming home video for anybody that gets cut. And it's like I'm maybe I could be wrong, but I don't know. Jake Glazer mentioned the June 1 thing.
Well, they have to designate him as a June 1.
June 1. Maybe they do that. We could theoretically, honestly, man, like if you told me on March, I think it's the 15th. I could be wrong. March 15th at whatever 4:01 or whatever, when league year opens, the Jets have designated Aaron Rodgers a June 1 release. They've done the same thing with Devontae Adams, and they've cut Allen Lazard and sent them to the moon. And, and I'm sure there's a couple other names in there. And, like, they go from there. I could be wrong, but I would be, like, unsurprised if they approach it in that manner.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, because I remember Samini had, like, a tweet, like, the Jets aren't going to put an official comment out there, but he implied that it'd be, like, later in the week. Like, I think they got to put out something that we're going to release them at the start of the league year. Because, like, I feel like the owner would put out a statement, like, thanking Rodgers. It's typically
I
a
can see that.
high-profile player what happened.
I can see Woody putting out a tweet because, there's obviously been a lot of contention between the two of them publicly, between the Athletic article and some of the stuff Rodgers has said on McAfee and just the way, obviously, the last couple months have gone down. So, yeah, I could see them putting out some kind of a gushy, tweet about how much they loved Rodgers, and that's fair, and they got to do it. But I think from the Jets specific account, I could see it being literally the Jets have released quarterback Aaron Rodgers with a June 1 designation. If that's the case, again, Jay Glazer reported that, so I assume it's factual. But we haven't heard an official statement in terms of, like, if they just eat all of it in this year, do they June 1 it? Do they spread it out over multiple years? Like, I don't think we have the exact details. I could be wrong, Jake, but generally speaking, I think the Jets kind of let their unofficial report kind of come out already.
Before we get into what the Athletic is saying, the Jets apparently said to Rodgers in their meeting, a reminder that we have another awesome raffle coming your way later this week. A signed Curtis Martin Hall of Fame helmet is the top prize, followed by a Wayne Corbett signed jersey, a Don Maynard signed helmet, a Joe Namath replica Super Bowl ring, and finally a signed Aaron Glenn card. So those are the prizes, and I see already this show, David Atkins and South Philly have gifted memberships to get in our latest Asmaniac raffle. So thank you to both of them for the support. Now, on her podcast, Diana Rossini, who always loves to talk about the Jets, seems like she only covers one team. She had this to say, apparently. Here's the quote, the graphic from her podcast, Scoop City. Apparently, the conversation between the Jets and Rodgers went as followed. Quote, if you're going to be a part of this team, you're going to attend all of training camp. You're not going to do Pat McAfee interviews anymore. The first thing that stood out to me is Aaron Rodgers never missed any training camp. So unless she misspoke here, this already doesn't make any sense. He missed 2 days of minicamp and went to 10 of the 12 total practices, right? The 2 minicamp ones he missed, I don't want to relitigate the whole thing. I think it's the biggest bunch of whatever. But, okay, let's say this happened and she meant to say minicamp, fine. I'm not buying the McAfee stuff. I'm just not. I mean, Garrett Wilson had a weekly on Barton Hahn this past season. Amon St. Brown has his own podcast. I'm just not buying that they were like, you have to stop doing McAfee if you're back. I personally don't believe this.
I'm sure there's I don't know if it's not true, but I do think the training camp thing feels like it meant to be mini camp is my guess. I'm simply guessing here, Jake. I honestly, I wish I had there's a lot of information I do know. I can tell you I absolutely have no insight into whether they told Rodgers that he needs to be at mini camp or not. I'm sure the Jets probably want it. I've said it for weeks, if not almost months at this point. I don't think Rodgers is playing football in 2025. I think this was the Jets being like, you don't get to drag this out. We're going to be moving on whether you're playing football or not in 2025. And that's good. Good for them. If that's what they want to do, I'm glad the Jets, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, this was over by February 9th. I think we were all worried that this could drag on into the league year, and then it starts to mess with what are the Jets doing, and we don't know. Do I think that they probably would prefer he's not on McAfee? Sure. I'm sure that it's a lot harder to control, what's being said on McAfee versus, what's being said on a Barton Hahn thing or something else, via a radio partner in ESPN or, if it's a weekly on my podcast or your podcast or something like that, where they, we kind of have, it's just a little different. McAfee kind of asks whatever he wants and Rodgers kind of says whatever he wants, and that's fine. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Again, do I think they would prefer he's not on it? Sure. But do I think that at the end of the day, I don't think a pay cut unless it was me, super substantial pay cut that like basically gave back the bonus. I just think the Jets wanted to move forward and say like this it's really unfortunate the last 2 years didn't work. It sucks. Like it was worth it, but it did end up working. We want to move on in a different direction. We want to, X, Y, and Z, however they want to reason it. I think that's why. I don't think it has, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't think McAfee or Egypt or any of this other stuff, it feels like Rex Ryan and Keyshawn ran with the Egypt thing, and then, everyone started running with the McAfee thing. Like, at the end of the day, man, I think the Jets made a decision that they're better off, maybe short term, but long term, making this decision now and getting it out of the way and saying, we're going to move on. That's it. Like, I think that's what it came down to. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji and Woody Johnson, Chris Johnson, Jaime and Rick Spielman and a million other people, whoever, I'm assuming those are the people that were involved, said, I think our best case is we move on, we build up the roster. We hope we can make the playoffs this year and, kind of do what we did in 2022. We won't get, generationally bad quarterback play. We'll get league average quarterback play or about around there. We'll rebound the defense. We'll set the culture with Aaron Glenn. He's the face of the organization. We're going to move on and go on, so on and so forth. That's what I think happened. Do I think that, again, would they prefer Rodgers doesn't talk about conspiracy theories and leaks in the building on McAfee? Yeah, I'm sure they do. But like, it doesn't matter. I don't think his teammates give a shit. I don't think the coaches give a shit. And I really don't think the ownership gives a shit. I just think sorry, I know I just like dropped 3 curses in 4 seconds, but like, I just really don't think that stuff generally matters. I think it matters as it's a fun topic, just like Madden ratings were a fun topic. And then guess what? The Ravens, who are the model organization, and Eric DeCosta, who's considered a top 10 GM, guess what, man? Talked about how Madden ratings are a thing for them. And like nobody batted an eye. So the important stuff here is I don't think Rodgers is playing football, and maybe he does in 2025. But Jake, I truly think it's going to be a situation, and I'll end this rant with this. I think it's going to be a situation where you get Rodgers, I'm healthy. You'll get a couple of videos of him throwing with Devontae in like mid-March, mid-May, mid-April. And it'll be like, ooh, like he'll wait until OTAs and minicamp are over, and God forbid someone gets hurt or a team goes, ooh, we might suck at quarterback post-draft, like worse than we thought. Aaron Rodgers, and you start to talk yourself into it. That's what I see happening, as opposed to, I think someone reported that like he'd be open to a pay cut. I just think the Jets were ready to move on, and that was it. And whether it's the right or wrong decision, we'll find out.
Also, this from Rossini doesn't say whether or not he agreed to that, if it's true. For all we know, he said, okay, yeah, I want to come back. I want to stay in New York. I don't want to move somewhere else if I want to keep playing. So there's still so much we don't know, even if we assume this is true, which I have severe doubts that Diana Rossini still has all these sources with the Jets when all her leaks were fired already. Like, let's call it for what it is, unless it's Jaime Elhai, the team president, I guess. But I'm sorry, Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji aren't leaking stuff to Diana Rossini. It's not happening.
Yeah, I think that there's been a big reset in the building.
Your dog agrees.
In terms of who's sourced and who's not. I would say not who's sourced and who's not. Of like, there's a lot of different people in the building, and I think, how can I put this? I would say some of the people that were quite chatty to media members are no longer employed by the Jets.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
I mean,
not to me. I'm a nobody. I'm just saying in general. I think it's quite obvious if you connect the dots. When somebody doesn't get on a plane for an interview and then everyone seemingly knows about it within 4 seconds. Yeah.
I mean, let's call it for what it is. Robert Saleh tried to be buddy-buddy with everybody in the press. It's not a secret.
He texted your previous guest after a game, didn't give a shit about losing, couldn't wait to tell him about how it wasn't his fault.
I mean, come on now. Also, it wasn't even just Saleh. Rex Hogan, from my understanding, talking to people, was a big leaker. The highly respected Rex Hogan. So respected, he's yet to get a job in the year he's been fired. Just throwing that out there. I mean, this entire coaching staff knew they were going to get fired. So they all were disgruntled and ran their mouth. Like, I have no sources to protect. I could give a flying F. That's exactly what happened. Anyway, Emmanuel with a membership that has been gifted. He's in our raffle for one. Thank you very much to the great Emmanuel for this one. Super chat from Jet West, who says, Will, my man.
The GOAT. That's best, baby.
Kyle Clifton says, Will gets it. New regime just needs 100% clarity. I disagree with moving on from Rodgers, but the one thing I do like is that it's quick and out of the way. We're not dragging this. So that's why I asked about an official statement from the team to really kind of close the book and move forward. I think it happens before the combine.
Yeah, I could also, well, I would say the next time you'll hear from Glenn and Muji
is the combine,
unless they do some other, somebody's pod or show. So I would say that's the next time. So I think that's when you'll get your statement. I'm very curious how Glenn phrases it, because he was very adamant and very strong and got out in front of all of the I think the Jets knew. I would say this. I think that the Rodgers decision was not made overnight. I think this was talked about. I can assure you, in every single GM and every single head coach interview. I think if the Jets were hiring Aaron Glenn, I don't think there was a surprise on how he felt about what they should do going forward. And I don't think it's a surprise from Rodgers. He met with the team 2 days after the season, met with Woody and Chris. I think he was aware of how they felt. And I think vice versa. I think it's better for Rodgers if this dragged on a little bit. He got some time away. Maybe things changed. I think a lot of people that weren't pro Rodgers coming back as time went on from the season for over like that 6-week stretch was like, you know what? Maybe I want him back. Because Jake, I feel like, I swear, man, I was on your show every week this season, and I feel like I'm pretty pro Rodgers. And I was called an idiot by a lot of people for being pro Rodgers. And then I was like, kind of made peace with he's not going to come back. And then I just tweeted I wasn't surprised. And everyone's like, you're an idiot. I want Rodgers back. I'm like, dude, you guys all called me idiots all season for wanting Rodgers back. So I was just like sitting there. I was like, I don't even know what to do anymore. No matter what opinion I have, people are just not very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I smell a 4-win season right now, Will. That's what concerns me. Like,
So,
I think it's going to be very tough for this team to be anything better than maybe like a 7-win team at best with what we're looking at right now.
Yeah. So I think I just am in a wait and see mode, because I don't think the Jets don't have a plan. I don't think we know the plan, and I'm not sure everyone's going to be excited with the plan per se. But I do think there is a plan. And
does it involve winning?
Yeah, I do. I think this is I think they're going to try to do some semblance of like, I'm trying to think the best example. I'm trying to think of a Jets example that I can, sometimes it's hard to do comps to different teams and whatever. I do think it's going to try to look a lot like what Denver looked like last year, where it's like, hey, we're going to have this big dead cap hit. We're kind of in a transition where we're trying to get rid of all the old crap that went on. And Denver has been through a pretty big drought too. I think people forget that they literally hadn't been in the playoffs. I think, Jake, since 2015, if I'm not mistaken, since they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they had the big dead cap hit, and they were like, we don't have an answer at quarterback. We just got rid of our big veteran. But we have a lot of these young guys we really like, and we're going to have to make these shrewd moves. And I think there is an argument to be made. And again, maybe I'm being overly positive here. I think there's a path to, can the Jets the Jets roster is better than the Steelers and Broncos roster, in my opinion. Right now, I'd rather have the Jets. I think there's more good young players in the Jets than there are in Denver and Pittsburgh. And you're putting a lot of faith in Aaron Glenn for sure, but I have no reason to think he won't be good, the same way I have no reason to think he is good, because we're going based off his resume, which is a strong resume. He's got as good of a resume for a coordinator as you can have, having done it at every level, experience, the whole thing. If Aaron Glenn is 30% better than Robert Saleh, which, I mean, I certainly hope he's better than 30% better than Saleh, but if he's just 30% better, right? Is he 3 wins better than Saleh from last year? And can the Jets get 50% better out of their run game and keep the passing game within 20%? I know they've been doing a lot of random percentages. I'm just going based off my head right now. It's like, if they make their kicks and this easier schedule and Glenn's not a bum and they win 8 or 9 games, because it's like, hey, they're kind of like 2022. They win some close games. They're able to run the football. They're able to play good defense. They take the football away a little bit, and things like that. If they win 8 or 9 games, you're like, all right, we have a coach, right? This roster is good. These Sauce plays like Sauce is capable. Michael Carter doesn't get hurt the whole year. The offensive line takes another step, as they should, right? AVT off an injury. You can start to, if they have the right offseason, they have to nail these moves though, man. At the end of the day, we can both debate 4 wins, 8 wins, whatever. they got to make sure they either bring Moses back or address right tackle. They've got to overhaul a bunch of pieces on this defense. They're going to have money to spend. Can they go spend, $10 million here, $10 million here, $10 million here on guys that raise the floor of this team significantly, as opposed to go sign one big name? Like, frankly, the Jets don't need to go out and spend $30 million on T. Higgins. They need to spend $8 million on Josh Palmer, $12 million on a defensive tackle, $6 million on a corner. Like, that's where they could be good. That's what Denver did last year. Go find their JFM, which is such a shame. I can't believe I have to say that. But like, can they go find their JFM? Can we go trade with a team that's like, we need to dump cap space. We'll take on your $8 million 3-down edge player for a 5th-round pick. Like, that's what you hope, at least hope, is what they can do. And then 2026, I'm trading my picks and whatever I had to do with the Chiefs and the Bills and a lot of these other teams have done, which is have the roster in place and you have the coach, and now go mortgage the future for that rookie quarterback that can step into a good organization, not an organization that sucks and has no pieces around them. You hope if you have the coach and the organization support that you can bring in a rookie the right way for the first time since Chad or Sanchez, I guess.
Would be nice. I mean, even if they go quarterback this year,
there's a lot of steps to get there. I fully admit that. I'm just saying there does seem to be, like, you have seen this happen though. There is a path to like do this the right way. Whether they do or not is anybody's guess.
Super chat from June the GM. So you're saying the report by Diana is a lie? Well, I mean, go back to the beginning of the episode, June. We covered this. Awesome LA writes in, sorry for yesterday, my guy. It's all good. You don't have to give me merch. It's fine. I'll pay. Awesome LA. You're a good lad. All right. We got into it yesterday, but it's all good. Sean with a super chat. If there's a question that was meant to be attached to this, Sean, write it in normally. I'll make sure I get to it. I'll be on the lookout. JT writes in, 4 wins, 2025. Garrett Wilson and Core will ask for a trade in 2026. So, Will, what are your thoughts on the possibility of another losing season, first-year coach, and then this young core? They're all going to be like, I've had enough. Quinn Williams are already pissed off. They're moving on from Rodgers. Like Aaron Glenn has his work cut out for him already with moving on from Rodgers. Yeah,
June, just to clarify this, I didn't say it was a lie. I didn't say it was true. I have literally no idea. I honestly just saw the report before I got on here, and I just said I have no insight if it's true or not. I can't imagine that's what mattered. I think what mattered is they made a decision on Rodgers. That's it. I don't think it has anything to do with like the exterior stuff is fun. Again, for media, it's nothing like the Jets evaluated the football over this year and next year and the year following and said, in this 3-year window, does bringing back Rodgers make the most sense for our team? It doesn't. So we're going to move on. Again, whether they're right or not, I have no effing clue. In terms of Garrett Wilson, I think the offensive players are probably happier than people want to admit. And I think the defensive players are sitting there going, I trust Aaron Rodgers more than I had faith in a Zach Wilson or Sam Darnold or whatever it may be. Like, Quinn wants to win. He's been here through a lot of crap. These guys, I think for Garrett, it's about, I think he's going to get paid this offseason. I think the one guy that pretty clearly was really openly I don't know what the right word is, Jake, you're smarter than me. Like, the discontent with Rodgers felt like Garrett. And again, look, I understand. I don't think Rodgers and Garrett like hate each other as people, or like Garrett thinks he's a bad guy. I don't think it's any of that. I just think that there was a lot of pressure and there was a lot of expectation and there was a lot of demand playing with a guy like Rodgers, and that's okay. But I think, these guys are trying to take the next step in their career to go get paid. And I felt like just observing the Garrett and Breeses of the world, I think had this expectation it was going to like take off and they're going to be 1,600-yard receiver and Breece Hall was going to be Marshall Faulk this year. And like, I think we all did, and it didn't work that way. So I think maybe they're thinking, hey, I think maybe they're just like, hey, like maybe it's best for them to move on. I think the defensive guys, again, they're just like, hey, can someone score us 20 points a game so we can win, 10, 11 games like we did in 2022 or tried to.
Breece loves Rodgers.
I don't think any of this is like personal. I think for them, it's like, maybe for Garrett it is. I honestly don't know from that perspective. He's never like said to me, hey, like I hate Aaron Rodgers, like anything like that. But, I think the Jets can approach Garrett Wilson for an extension, and I think he probably signs it. And if it's hasn't worked out in 2 years, I think then we have a different conversation.
Sean with another $5 super chat with no question, but don't worry, he's got a $2 super chat with an actual question. What are the best options from here, in your opinion? I was going to ask you this anyway, so it's a perfect tie-in. Will, if you're the Jets, your goal of putting together the quarterback room post Rodgers is what exactly?
I think you had two bodies. One maybe through the draft, one through free agency or trade. I think you call Arizona, you call Dallas, you call any of these teams that are either in transition. You call the Rams, probably, although I don't think the Stafford thing really makes a ton of sense because it kind of just delaying the inevitable of, maybe if you got him for a year and it was literally the contract made all the sense and everything matched up, sure. I think you call those teams first and say, are you going to trade Kyler, Dak? Likely not, right? Like that's probably not going to happen, but you should at least, I'm exploring that, right? I'm calling everybody just to see if I can get one of those bigger name veterans. If that's off the table, and let's just go for sake of the argument, it is. Although there was some weird Kyler stuff. Zach mentioned him. I saw 2 Bleacher Report articles that don't take it for what it was. They were like, would the Cardinals move Kyler?
He's at least their quarterback if they move him. I don't understand.
I don't know if that's why I'm saying I don't buy into that. I'm just saying, I think the Cowboys and the Dak thing would have been really interesting. I just don't think they can eat. I think they would eat like $100 million this year. I just can't see it happening. If that's not the case and Darnold's not going to come back, which again, these are things that we're trying to be realistic here. I know Justin Fields doesn't get people excited. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Justin Fields is going to be amazing, but there is a case to be made for Sam and Baker. They went to places for a short period, kind of able to reset. They got some moments, right? Sam played a little in San Francisco. Baker played a little with the Rams, but they were able to reset, and then they went to a better, a situation where they could play, and they both had success. And there's argument to be made. Fields was better than Russ last year. I think Fields made some progress. You'd hope, hey, with a good offensive line, which the Jets' offensive line is far better than the Steelers, and maybe some creativity there, and could him and Brees really be a force in the run game, and can him and Garrett obviously have chemistry playing together, could they get lightning in a bottle for a year, limit some of his reads and limit some of the things where he's, 1 read, 2 read, tuck the ball and run. And the Jets, play really good defense. They, back to being good on specials. They're a disciplined team and they can win 9 games against the weak schedule. And then Fields is your opening day starter in 2026, and you've traded up for your rookie, and he comes along and plays week 4 or 5. I don't think that's out of the question, and I don't think that's like a bad plan at all. After that, some of the names just are really not exciting, man. Sure, you want to take your shot on Tanner McKee and one of these guys. Sure, I could see you, trying to bring him in for camp and seeing what you got, but you kind of already have that. If Jordan Travis is able to practice, I'd rather kind of have a rookie that you don't have to go up any capital for. I'm not trading for Joe Milton. I think that Fields is the one that makes sense. And then maybe you go after a rookie quarterback as well, and you sit there with rookie quarterback Fields. Hopefully Travis could practice, and then Tyrod, obviously. And you hope Fields wins the job, and that you go from there. I just don't think that it doesn't sound that exciting, but the Steelers were 4-2, and we're playing really solid football with Justin Fields, and I think the Jets roster is far and away better than the Steelers roster is. So you hope, hey, maybe Fields has his Darnold year, right? And let's or even some part of that, or what Baker looked like 2 years ago, and Geno Smith. We've seen these things happen. Why can't the Jets have it's happened with the Jets with Fitz, who was, by all accounts, kind of done. It was over for Fitz as a starter. Fields is still 25, at least. At least maybe you have some type of excitement there. And again, they could run the, piss out of the football and, play good defense and hope they could keep games 20-17. I know it's not that exciting. I'm aware.
Well, it smells like 4-13, but that's fine. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I really do.
No, it's always good with no expectations, man. We know 2006, no expectations. 2015, no expectations. Yeah. First time head coach. That's what happens.
Luppy thinks it'll be a mercenary season. A lot of 1-year deals in free agency.
Maybe. It depends. I think maybe a quarterback, as we mentioned. Fields is likely going to get. Will's overrated the team's talent again. I get, and sure, man. Maybe I'm overrating it, but There's
You're
a
not,
team
though. You're not.
I'm
There
not.
is talent. That's why I wanted Rodgers back. There is talent on this
They
team.
were picked to win 12 games last year, and everyone had a down year. I don't really think I'm actually overrating it at all. I think
They led the NFL in blown fourth quarter leads. Their kicker cost them 3 games. Their all-world defense, which was top 3 for the previous 2 years, regressed to one of the worst in the league.
Yeah. And then the Kirk Cousins thing, I see someone wrote it in, so I'll address it now. Look,
that's peak Jets if they sign Cousins.
I understand you could be like, ooh, it's $1 million. Cool. Like, he'll be better the second year off the Achilles. And sure, there's some truth to that. I think he's a Brown, so I don't think it matters. But secondly, if you're gonna have like the journeyman kind of hopeless lightning in a bottle guy, I'd much rather bet on a guy like Fields that's significantly more talented at this point and can run and like make a guy miss in the pocket than Kirk, who's a statue. Like, part of the reason that Rodgers, you could kind of talk yourself out of Rodgers is the mobility has gotten worse, obviously, and it's not. He's 41 years old. I'm not like giving him a hard time. I love Rodgers, but he's not he doesn't make guys miss as much in the pocket anymore and these different things. At least with Fields or someone like that, what Darnold did this year, like you got to have someone that can move a little bit. In modern day NFL, doesn't have to be a runner, but I just Kirk did not look good last year, and he was already losing. He's taken a lot of shots over the years, Jake. I think he's one of the toughest dudes in the league, but like took a ton of shots. I personally would pass, but knowing the Jets, can't put it out of the equation.
Oh, it'd be so Jets.
That'd be frustrating. That'd be pretty frustrating, to be honest. That and Russell Wilson are the 2 ones where I'm like, nope, can't talk myself into it. Can't do it. Fields, I could do. I could talk myself into, hey.
Fields is my preference if we're going to sign someone with upside to go with Tyrod.
He's good at the end with the Bears. Teammates love him. Had some moments with the Steelers. Like, you could
he's gotten better every year, and he's athletic and young enough where you could talk yourself.
See a vision with Fields. What's the vision with Kirk? You're hoping you get 2016 Kirk Cousins? Like, he's not coming back.
I'll tell you the vision: 7-10.
Be brutal.
It's going to be a nightmare. It never ends with this franchise. Oh, but let's get rid of Aaron Rodgers. It's fine. We have no plan. CC writes in, leak in the building remains after the reset. Jaime. I mean, I don't know, but that's assuming that this is even true.
I'm not going to comment on that. And I think that should tell you what you need to know.
Yeah, I think that says a lot right there. Omari with a super chat. Please stop with Kirk Cousins BS. What the hell can Kirk do that A-Rod can't? Kirk used us. Remember this about culture. Get Fields in the building. Thanks. I agree with you, Omar. I want nothing to do with Kirk Cousins. Nothing. I think that would be a terrible move by the Jets.
Yeah, dude. And the Winston thing, I've seen all people. Here's my problem with Winston, right? And
End
again,
of the show.
First of all, it's a clown show with Winston, and I'm good on the Jets being a clown show, man. Like, I'd like to just be like an organization people look at. I want to be boring, kind of. I got to be honest. Like, I'm okay with being boring. A team that, like, people want to talk Jets. They come to the Jake Asman show. They come to Badlands and TOJ and many of our compatriots. They go to ESPN New York and like that WFN and stuff. Like, I'm okay with not being on Get Up once this year, unless the Jets are surprising us like they did in 2022 and they're 6-3 and shocking some people and having some big. Like, I'm good with that. I'm good with not being a clown show and having a guy who's pled guilty to sexual assault as the quarterback who throws 800 interceptions a year. But it's really fun.
Clown show, baby.
Yeah, I just look, and again, like, I know he's fun, but like after the Thursday night fun game, like, look what happened. Like, with Kevin Stefanski calling plays for you. So it's not like, it's we hope Tanner Engstrand is like half of what Kevin Stefanski is as a coach. So I don't know. I just would rather the guy that turns the football over a ton, I'm not sure is the answer for a team that's going to probably try to be really good on defense. Like, who's the Jared Goff for them? Like, who could be their Jared Goff for a year or two to bridge to their franchise guy? Also, Larry, Jameis is a clown. I'm a clown. Jameis is not. I've never been convicted of sexual assault. So shove it, please. Respectfully, Larry.
ladies and gentlemen, the great Larry Romano. And by great, I mean absolute bum. See ya.
Into the shadow realm you go.
That's the problem with Aaron Rodgers. This guy is a cancer that's metastasized throughout the entire building in Florham Park. And I don't know why Jets fans can't see it.
Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
See you later, Larry. Super chat here from Connor Long. He says here are 3 under the radar names to look for: Pickett, Tanner McKee, Gardner Minshew. Again, not guys I want, but I can see the Jets sneakily targeting.
Of those 3, I'd rather Tanner McKee. I'm good on Gardner Minshew. Just I don't know. It was tough to watch last year. Then Pickett, yeah, no.
Is he a free agent? Like, where's this Tanner?
Yeah,
stuff
I don't know where these names are coming from. All due respect, Connor's the man, but yeah, of those guys, I guess Tanner McKee. Like, I guess, yeah, that's it.
Let's see.
That doesn't really like. See, that's where we start to have a conversation of like, what the hell are we doing? Then I'll be right there with you of like, what if Kenny Pickett's the answer? Like, then I'm gonna have a lot of different conversations. Like at that point, I'm trading up for Cam Ward. Like, you know what I mean? Like then at that point, like, what are we doing? So
honestly, that's kind of what I hope happens, because I just we're just throwing away next year right now with these other options. Oh, culture, this and that. It's like, okay.
It's just annoying, dude, because like Tyrod, like numbers wise,
if you guaranteed me 17 games of Tyrod Taylor,
it'd be 9-8, and they'd be probably a playoff team. So that'd be great, but I can't guarantee you more than 6 quarters in a row of Tyrod, so that's part of the problem. That's why it's back up.
What do you think it would cost to trade up for Cam Ward?
Probably 742 next year's 1, because maybe
that's what Beningo thought. But here's the thing. Like, you'd have to get to 1 or 2 to do it, because you're not making a deal with the Giants and New England's at 4. So if one of these guys started to slip, you're not going to be able to do it.
I just have no interest in Shador. I just don't think it would work here and whatever. But again, I think if for some reason they slip to 3, the Giants are going to trade with you. New England's not. I guess you have to go to 1 or 2. And again, for those teams, like, if you're Tennessee and you don't like the quarterback class, and you're like, we're going to punt on this year, essentially, like try to just like basically get our quarterback next year, accumulate picks. Same thing with Cleveland. Why would they want to move all the way to 7? You know, like they're going to want to move all the way back and then miss out on Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. It's hard for me to see. I don't know. It's hard for me to see that happening, Jake. Like, just feels like there's a line, and then the Jets are just in a weird spot where like, it's not the craziest thing to move back to 7, but in a draft that's not super deep of top-end blue chippers, does Tennessee with a first-time GM and a coach that like probably almost low-key got fired after a year, do they, and a very impatient owner, do they want to take a shot on Michael Williams and like just to get an extra first-round pick? I don't know if that's the case. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. It'd be fun, but I don't know.
It would be fun. He's the one guy I trade up for. He's the only guy. They believe in him.
Yeah.
We have some very important housekeeping to take care of right away, and then we'll get back to the super chat. So Gary writes in, it's not the Gary Boxing, it's Gary Klessler. I'm more on him in a moment here, but he says, talk out of your ass. You have no idea if Tyrod Taylor will get hurt. Yeah, I guess we have no idea, but history will show you anytime this guy has had a chance to start, he has gotten hurt in his career. Like, go back and look. Also,
Jake, want to do this? Ready? I'm just going to read for you. Okay. This is since 2015. Okay. We'll go through quick. MCL sprain, October 2015, 2016, groin tear, 2017, concussion, 2017, patella sprain, 2018, concussion, 2018, dislocated finger, 2018, concussion, 2020, chest lung puncture, 2020, broken ribs, 2021, hamstring or thigh tear, 2021 wrist ligament tear, 2022 concussion, 2023 chest, rib, and pull/sprain/break.
Great take, Gary. But hold on, Will. You ready for this? So Gary believes that Aaron Glenn was a better cornerback than Darrelle Revis. He wrote in earlier, I know more about the Jets than you ever will, Jake. And then he wrote, look at the effing numbers, not your feelings. So, Will, I'll ask you, was Aaron Glenn a better cornerback than Darrelle Revis?
No.
Yeah, I would say anyone with a brain would agree. So, Gary, congrats on being today's moron of the day. I mean, it's just the fact that he actually thinks that Glenn was better than Revis because he looks
Aaron
at the
Glenn,
numbers.
awesome player, man. Awesome player.
It's incredible.
Darrelle Revis is arguably the best player that's ever touched the football to play in the cornerback position. Aaron Glenn was a Pro Bowler. Darrelle Revis was a perennial All-Pro. Doesn't mean that Aaron Glenn wasn't awesome. Just means Darrelle Revis was better.
Yeah. I mean, come on now.
Pretty simple.
Some more super chats here. Jay Taylor says, Aaron was horrible while playing through injury and hasn't been healthy in 3 years. His stat padding against bad teams has his fan base in shambles. I hate when we talk about stat padding. Like, the New York Jets were in basically every game this year. There were games they lost because their kicker sucked. Is that stat padding for Rodgers in those games? Like when he played really well, threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football. Was that stat padding, or did they lose because Tyron Smith committed a holding penalty that took away a game-winning touchdown from Braylon Allen? Or because you had Greg Zuerlein missed an extra point and 2 field goals that night. Like, is that stat padding, or is that just, circumstances of what happened in the game? Was it stat padding when Rodgers put up 27 points offensively against the Colts and Anthony Richardson went down the field, or the previous week or whatever it was against the Patriots when they went down the field and scored a touchdown to have the lead late, and then Jacoby Brissett went 80 yards on the Jet defense? Like, was it stat padding then, or it's only stat padding when they won games and he had good numbers? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there were games he played well and they lost. So I'm tired of the stat padding. The reality is, and stats are not everything, but when you compare Rodgers to the other options, there's a strong argument to be made. He's the best available option. I mean, these are just stats. And I'm not even saying like Rodgers is somehow better than Mahomes. Obviously he's not. Mahomes is Mahomes. But like, you just look at the numbers here, whether it's Mahomes or Allen. I'm so tired of everyone trying to tell me that, Rodgers stats don't mean anything because the Jets only won 5 games. Justin Herbert's team only won 5 games too until Jim Harbaugh got there. Coaching matters. And the Jets had no running game, and they were asking way too much from a 41-year-old coming off an Achilles. I thought this team was going to have a running offense. They didn't. Thank God they got rid of Keith Carter. Maybe whoever the next O-line coach now is and run game coordinator will have a real plan to maximize the talents of Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and Isaiah Davis going forward. Sorry for the rant, Will, but I'm so sick of it, man.
Nah, look, I get it, man. I just – the offense, you hope, will be more complimentary. They'll be able to run the football better. I thought part of the reason, they were going to be better this year is they were going to be able to run the football, and Rodgers could kind of do a lot more of what he did in 2021, where it was like not as many attempts, but like high volume touchdowns, et cetera. They threw the ball too much last year, and I don't know if that's on Rodgers. Play calling, mixture of both. You hope that the offense can do, different things better. And obviously they're not going to have – Rodgers at times played really well last year. At times he wasn't good. Like, there were certainly games where he looked like shit.
For sure. I was at one of them in London.
Yeah, it was
awful.
But, I think I don't think that it's just about this year. I don't think it's punting on this year, but I also think that like they're looking at it and saying, okay, we'll be in a better financial situation, but can we be, better? Devontae was really good for us last year, but at the same time, can we get more well-rounded production? Like they have a lot of work to do. It's really hard to like know what's going to happen because they go out there and have an awesome offseason where they add a bunch of quality guys, and we're talking about a team that's 10-7 next year, and you're like, whoa, like what? Like it's not, what happened here? There's also the possibility that, as you mentioned, that they fail and they don't make the right moves and stuff. But it's just, I'm not going to like crush the Jets right now on Rodgers. I'm just going to I'm going to wait and see. Again, I got to see the plan at quarterback first and the plan of how they attack the rest of the roster before kind of, plan kind of how they go from there. Again, I'm not trying to sit on the fence here. I don't think it's a full rebuild or anything like that. But again, on the face of it, it's not as exciting as having Rodgers. But hey, man, like they won 7 back-to-back years with Zach, who was effing awful. And if you could get a quarterback who isn't the worst quarterback in the league Could you have, won a couple more games here or there? Maybe. And again, easy schedule next year. They don't travel a lot. There's a lot of reasons of you could start to talk yourself into it a good offseason, but they got to nail some of these moves. They got to nail the middle of the roster, man. I'm going to say this over and over again. This is the draft to do it. This draft has 7 or 8 blue chip guys. I happen to think Jalen Walker at 7 would make this team a lot better. But picks 42, I think 90, whatever, 92, 93, whatever the F pick it is, and they have a bunch of 4th and 5th rounders. You got to nail a bunch of these. Can you for one effing time nail a 5th round right tackle or guard that can play league average for 4 years, making $1 million a year? Could you one time nail a 5th round defensive tackle that can play 2 downs a series and being a league average player? Can you nail another Brandon Eccles or someone like that at corner who you can pay $1 million to next year, and you can invest a little bit more at defensive end, at safety, at receiver, at whatever it may be? Could you do something so crazy, Jake? I know this is an insane concept. Could you find a 4th round receiver that can contribute 30 quality snaps a game, that doesn't drop the ball before he gets in the end zone and, basically give 0 effort? Could you do that? Would that be so insane? Could they draft a kick returner in round 6? That'd
be nice.
Wow. These are crazy things, Jake, that no one's ever thought of in the NFL. It'd be really, could they draft a backup quarterback? Imagine that. That'd be so cool. So that would be, some of these things should be easy to be done. The Jets have not done it in such a long time. Beef up the middle of the roster, add 1 or 2 guys at 7 and 42 that can contribute right away. Get Sauce playing like Sauce again, Breece like Breece, Garrett like Garrett, and you'll feel much better about leaving next year, even if you're not a playoff team, going, wow, we're actually in a good spot. Not all our guys hated here. We don't know who the coach is. We don't know who the GM is. Look at this dead cap number, this dead cap number. You know what I mean? We don't want to be there.
Super chats are coming in, baby. Dom C in the house. Project Prospect. Hey, boys, Atlanta still has to shed $12 million to get cap compliant. Adding $25 million to that number if they moved on from Kirk just makes no sense for Atlanta. The Kirk to the jet stream.
I'm Atlanta, not for nothing. I know this is maybe no one said this. And not no one said this, and Dom just said it here. Why are you rushing to move off Kirk when Michael Penix is made of glass? He looked really good last year. But if I have to just eat one more year of money, wouldn't I rather just hang on to Kirk and hope he looks a lot better and say, what if Penix gets hurt in week 3? Can Raheem Morris really afford another bad year? He's a second-time coach with an owner who's getting up there in age. If I'm him, I'm like, dude, I want to keep a high floor as my backup. I don't know. I wouldn't go sprinting to let guys out of the building, personally.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this live right now, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. There are currently 950 of you in here live. So make sure, if you haven't subscribed yet, you do so. I'm going to start teasing it now. We're going to be live from the Combine in Indy later this month. We just got back from Super Bowl week at Radio Row. I'm 25 subscribers away from 41,300. So the goal is to hopefully get to 42,000 soon. So appreciate all of you who continue to support this channel, whether we agree or disagree. I'd like to think most of us watching are Jet fans. So thanks for the support. LD Caesar writes in, am I crazy for thinking that Rodgers/Jets breakup is best for all involved? Rodgers isn't worth the cap ramifications for the next 3 years, but also doesn't deserve to go through a retool. It might be. It certainly might be. And for all we know, Rodgers himself wanted to move on too. But
yeah, let's hope that, Jake, I would say, I'm not trying to throw shots at Rodgers, but let's be realistic. We've seen him for 20 years. We know how he operates. I think Rodgers is happy to make it look like the Jets. He was begging for the Jets to cut him since about week 10. Every presser, every week. Oh, I've never been cut before. Every week. I've never been cut before. I almost wonder if it's even if he knows he's going to retire or go somewhere else, it really doesn't matter. I think that he is more than happy to be like, hey, the Jets cut me. They didn't want me. They didn't want me anymore. But I think, and for the Jets, I think it makes them look like we're in charge here. Mm-hmm. And this is Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji's show. We're not taking any BS. We're going to get right to the point here. And so in some ways, it makes both sides look good. It's like the Jets get the word out there that they mean business, and it's not, no one's bigger than the team and all this stuff. I'm not saying Rodgers is, but let's be realistic. He just is a huge presence. He just is. And if you're Rodgers, you're like, Jets cut me. Look at my numbers. And they cut me still. What idiots. The leak's in the building. You know, like that's what you could, I think both sides kind of come out looking exactly how they wanted to. I just will say this. I said this on the pod. As soon as, for people that wanted Rodgers back and we're hopeful he would come back, the second that Rappaport on Wednesday said Devontae prefers the West Coast, that should have been everything you needed to know. Because Devontae will go wherever Aaron goes. And if Devontae is already leaking where he wants to go next, and it's not teams that need a quarterback, that to me was like Rodgers isn't playing next year. Why would Devontae go to the Chargers or the Rams? You know what I mean? Like if he's going to play with Rodgers. Rodgers isn't the Chargers quarterback next year.
Unless the Rams move on from
Unless
Stafford.
the Rams move on from Stafford,
Yeah.
And then they go from there. That's the one spot I could see it happening. The real Rams spot, I know he's probably going to be a Raider. Darnold in LA makes way too much sense. Like way, way too much sense with McVay. Just had success with O'Connell. McVay's arguably slightly better than O'Connell. They've got talent there with Puka. Could they be a Devontae team? And then all of a sudden you're like Kyron, Devontae, Darnold, and Puka out in LA. The defense is really good and only getting better. Like that to me makes he's a South, he's an LA kid. That'd be kind of fun. I'll gladly get a Darnold Rams jersey. I'll throw it on the wall.
I personally hope Rodgers plays and balls out somewhere. Like I'm rooting for
That'd be cool. I mean, good for him. I don't want to see him in a third jersey. Part of me is like, I don't want him to do the Favre thing.
I don't want him going to Minnesota, but I mean, if you went to like a different NFC team.
Rodgers like loves Green Bay. I don't. Favre wanted to like get back at the Packers for drafting Rodgers. I think Rodgers was pissed at the brass of the Packers. I don't think he has any interest in playing with the Vikings. I could be wrong. That would be weird.
I don't think he wants to do the full Favre thing.
No, I mean it's like if you don't succeed, Favre actually had
a great year. He went to an NFC title game.
An MVP in that first year. That to me puts that'd be weird. I don't know. That to me doesn't excite me. I would be pretty disappointed to watch Rodgers do that.
Michael writes in, Will's a top 3 guest. 1, Joe B, 2, Robbie Sabo, 3, Will, then big drop off. Will, your thoughts on being a top 3 guest according to Michael Lamana?
I feel like Michael's got a Cortland jersey on in there. I could be wrong. So shout out, Mike. This is the 2023 national champions, Cortland Red Dragons. I appreciate the high praise. I would say that I wish everybody felt the same way, but I'll take a compliment where I can get one.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. Hennessy writes in with a super chat for Will. I said it when Muji was hired. He must hit on free agents and mid-round picks. Also, Rossini could now wait to report this. She's been MIA for weeks. Yeah, I mean, she's a national reporter who happens to cover one team. It's interesting how that works.
Oh, man. I'm going to have Diane on the show at some point in the next month, and I'm just going to press her about the Jets thing, and we'll see what we can shake out.
I'll give you some questions.
I'll let people call in.
Diana, meet Breezebreaker. Anyway, Craig in Australia with a super chat. As the resident Rodgers expert, have we had BMAC's take on this? We have not had BMAC's take on this to my knowledge. Now, that said, I'm not saying we won't eventually get BMAC's take on it. We just haven't had it yet. I don't know if BMAC's even still out there. I mean, I hope he is, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add there.
Yep. I wouldn't expect you to, Will. There's something I wanted to play here. I'm trying to find it. But unfortunately, my folders are all unorganized and a complete bleep show. So I don't have it ready. Never mind. Anyway, Will, this was a lot of fun, man. Appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah, thanks so much. I hope Larry has a great day. I appreciate him comparing me to a loser like Jameis Winston. Shout out to Mike. We got people fired up in the chat. So like and subscribe. I got a bunch of stuff coming out. Field the 8s will be on the pod tomorrow. If you're a draft person or fantasy guy, Field will be on the pod tomorrow.
I will going to say Field Yates, baby, like Boy Green does in his intro.
Holy bazingas! I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if I can't go full Boy Green. I feel like I got to stick with my stick with the monotone voice and roll from there.
I see.
But yeah, no, everyone check it out. And me and Jake will be live from the combine, I'm sure, at some point.
I can't wait. It's a tradition unlike any other.
Appreciate
Second year in a row.
Yeah, appreciate it in a row. A lot of old fashions that after 12 p.m. will be had.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will Parkinson, TOJ Pod. Go subscribe if you're a Jet fan. I'll be joining Will and the Badlands crew at their live event in April as well. I think there's still tickets left for that. So look into that as well. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We got a lot still to talk about here. So if you have not hit the like button yet, please do. Please do. Simple as that. Yeah, I had this video I wanted to play that was about BMAC, but I can't find it. So all of you out there, sorry.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas.
That would have been all your reactions if I found it. Anyway, let's get some more of your calls. Gusbuster Hotline is open for anyone who wants in on the conversation. The Rockness Monsters first up today. Hello, Rockness Monster.
Hey, Jake, what's up? Haven't got a chance to call in a while. Good to be back on the show.
Welcome back. Where have you been?
Listening and not calling in.
I see. Well, hey, as long as you listen, it's all good.
Yep. Great job by Will as usual. And shout out to him for getting Field Yates on the show. That'll be cool. Don't often listen to his show, but that might be one I tune in for kind of erratically. So yeah, I thought he came on and crushed it as usual. I was hoping to get him for this question too, but I am perfectly happy to have you be the solo, pass this thought on to you solo. I think it was 2 seasons ago. You and I shared an interest in AJ McCarron. I think as the backup was kind of the thought. And I don't know where he's at exactly right now. I know he's been a backup and stuff like that, but what do you think about the Jets bringing in the best looking quarterback out of like the UFL or something like that?
They kind of did that last year with Adrian Martinez.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. I'd forgotten about that completely, actually. But yeah, I like what you guys were saying about, really leaning into this draft, building the rest of the team and kind of going like, hey, quarterback's something we're really going to have to focus on, at least youth wise later on. But yeah, I was kind of in agreement, wanted to just pop that thought over of like, what do you think about looking at another league for like basically a bridge quarterback?
Now you're going by the name Rockness Monster. Have you considered going by the name Jets Jesus on this show?
Ooh, maybe. Okay. I'm good with that on the show. I can change that up.
All right. I'm going to add it right now and we'll take a look here. Jets Jesus. All right. From this moment on, you're now Jets Jesus, but you got to call in a lot.
All right. I'm getting attacked by the cat. Sorry.
Love it. Great job, Jets Jesus. Tremendous job. Ladies and gentlemen, Jets Jesus. Ted wants to know, can he baptize Aaron Glenn? Maybe he can. Jets Jesus, can you walk on water? We need a miracle. We need you to fix the Jets. We have paid for our sins enough. Throw us a bone, Jets Jesus. Open phone lines if anyone wants in on the conversation. Hey, quick reminder that Gary Kessler thinks that Aaron Glenn was a better corner than Darrelle Revis. I'd like to put that one out there again for today's dumbass take of the day. Brought to you by, hey, maybe your brand. We're looking for sponsors. By the way, I have my marketing people working on some sponsors for the Combine right now. If you or your brand are interested in Combine Week sponsorships, we have packages still available. Email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, and I'll connect you and tell you what we got. It's going to be a great week. Will Parkinson will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, he is on the Gusbuster hotline. He is the only guy that is currently on hold, which means, by default, he's next up.
You know what time it is? I'm Beast Breaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
Beast, how are you?
I'm in prayer right now. I think we'll be okay, my son. Just gotta think, good prayer, good thoughts, great happiness. But we'll be fine. We will be fine. Just gotta. You see what we're doing? Breathe in, breathe out. Now, let's get down to facts. We're going to go looking for quarterbacks. I know where to start first. Ohio State. Let's start there. Illinois, Indiana, Air Force, Army, Navy, Kentucky, Marines, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Texas, Arizona, California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and we're gonna mix it all up. We're gonna mix it real nice and even. We're gonna make it an even playing field of quarterbacks. We'll have a checkbook, but here's the thing: when we sign you, you're gonna have to participate like everybody else, like Jake does on his show, and like what you do with our boys in New York. We have 50 new players in this town, and when you participate with us, you're gonna work. You're gonna get your and when I say check, you see something like this. This is the check. This is something you guys are gonna have to earn. You want to earn this? You're gonna work for it, like everybody else, like you, me, your wife, your kids, everybody. You're all gonna come working for that check. Oh, and Jake, let me also sponsor one more thing. Get your Gorman boxers. Yes, please get your the Charles Gorman boxers. Also, don't forget to get their Jake Asman t-shirt and your Asmania hat. Also, we're also going to sponsor Hugo House. Get your hats, get your tees. Also, get your button t-shirts, including those nice vests if you want to go on a date or go golfing or go out wherever. But remember, always tap into HugoHouse.com and look for that one word, Asman. Yes. Yes, that is the key word. Yes. Look for the word Asman. ASMAN. Look for it online at HugoHouse.com. And if you don't get us, please try us. Thank you. Do you like that now, Jake? Now that's a setup.
666, he's the man who would kick your ass, and then he's gobbled.
Salient points, as always, by Beastbreaker. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Purple Belt Mike. His autographed Joe Willie Namath helmet came in the mail today. That was fast, Mike. I sent that out yesterday. Love it. Enjoy it, Mike. Thanks for supporting the show. See, find me a show that's getting prizes out that quickly. I sent that out yesterday. We did the raffle Friday. It's Tuesday. He already has it. If you want in on our next raffle later this week, gift a membership or send in a $20 super chat. We're giving away a signed Hall of Fame Curtis Martin helmet, a signed Wayne Corbett jersey, a signed Don Maynard helmet, a replica Super Bowl III ring, a Aaron Glenn signed photo, or signed, trading card. I have it right here. You want to see the replica ring? Right here. Let's go, baby. All right, let's continue with your calls right now. Open phone lines for those who want in. Lassil is up next. Lassil, how are you?
It's LaSalle, by the way.
LaSalle, how are you, LaSalle?
Yeah. Sorry, it's a weird French name. It's from Jamaica.
It's all good.
Just wanted to drop by because like I think me and you got off on the wrong foot yesterday. And you don't need to send me any merch. Like, it's being a fan. It's being a fan. Both of us have different opinions on what's happening, and that's the whole thing of being a fan. I had a lot of spurts from my family members, so I'm all built for it. You know what I mean?
Are you wearing headphones, LaSalle?
Yeah, I am. Is that a problem?
Well, I think it's rubbing up against your hoodie there, so you're kind of muffled.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, much better.
Sorry, yeah. Bring back my anime hairstyle. but yeah, I'm just like I've been through this stuff, it's just the first time I ever did it on a radio show. Radio show though. It's usually at my house or whatever. And I usually don't. I go on like Richie's talk show, Richie's stuff, and the AFC's roundtable or whatever. But I never did something like that to like my like fan like to like our fan base or whatever. So it's the first time for that. But glad it's on your show though.
Well,
Glad it's
welcome
on it.
aboard.
Yeah, and like I said, you don't have to give me any merch. It's all good. It's all good, man. And hopefully everything goes our way. Everything goes our way. No matter if it's, hopefully it's all good for our team.
LaSalle, I hope so, man. I would like to see the Jets win, which is something they don't do well. That'd be nice. A super chat has come through the pipeline. Cactus Johnny says, Jake, who do you honestly think knows more about football? Jaime El High or Beastbreaker? All signs point to the Beast. Look, I think Beast knows more about football than probably anyone watching the show right now, so I got to go with him. I mean, you talk about football acumen. What it takes to be great, what it takes to win, what it takes to put together a team. There's one guy that knows how to do it. And his name is Beastbreaker666. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier we received a super chat from Craig in Australia. As the resident Rodgers expert, have we had BMAC's take on it? For the first time since the Rodgers news was announced on Super Bowl Sunday, we hear from BMAC.
BMAC. Look at my TV. BMAC. I love Aaron Rodgers. Jets. Go Jets.
Hey, Jake. I'm back. The first time, since the Rodgers news. I just want to say I'm not shocked that it happened. I knew that it was going to come to this point. Once they hired the new coaching staff and the new OC, I figure that more likely he's not going to come back. But I hope he goes somewhere else and plays well. I hate to see him go out like this. You know what I mean? I still think he has a lot left to the tank. And I'm still going to be on this show calling in time to time. So all you haters, who have a problem with that, go screw yourself. And no, I would not be a Pittsburgh fan or a Titans fan or nothing like that. If he goes there or no.
Do you still love women?
Yeah, man. I love women. You know what I mean? I never did not love women. You know what I mean? I know I get it, my connection shit, but yeah, I mean, I never did not love women. So yeah, I still love women.
So when was the last time you went to a strip club, by the way? Because last time you were on, you said that you support women by going to the strip club.
Well, I just got from the strip club, I think last week, something like that.
Oh, you went last week?
Yeah, last week. It was pretty. It was pretty good. We partied and I met first of all, the girl stripped for me for free. I didn't have to pay.
Really?
So,
not even.
That's great.
Not even a cover charge.
No, not cover charge. She said I was special. You know what I mean? So so I so she said special people don't have to pay. And it wasn't really out in public. She took me to a private room and gave me a private strip.
Wow, lucky you, B-Mac. You're really showing your respect for women there.
Yeah, like I said, I always love women, man. You know what I mean? I was raised by my mom and my grandmother. You know what I mean? So, I always love women. And like I said, man, I go to the beach and watch women. You know what I mean? So.
So you go to the beach to watch women, so that's another sign that you respect them?
Yeah, I go to the beach, a lot, just to watch them. I like to watch women play volleyball, volleyball a lot. What I mean, moving them hips, moving them butts and bodies.
I see.
Yeah. So, one question real quick. Will said that the guys on offense are glad that Rodgers is leaving, but did Brees Hall tweet it out or something, or liking tweets about campaigning for Rodgers to come back?
Yes. Brees Hall was very active wanting Rodgers back. So was Jermaine Johnson, Quincy Williams, a lot of CJ Mosley, a lot of guys. Quinnen.
Yeah. And then I think him and Garrett, I think that thing is overblown. Garrett Wilson just want to win. You know what I mean? Like, the man is a true competitor. He came from a winning culture, from college, from high school. So, and he's been losing with the Jets. And remember, Garrett Wilson was one of the guys with Sauce and Brees was in that video when they burnt that cheesehead, wanting Rodgers to come to the Jets, and talking about how great it's going to be kissing passes with him. So
Right.
I don't think Garrett has an issue with him.
Kakuga Lake wrote in, BMAC, that stripper was definitely a dude. Did you confirm it was a woman?
It is a woman. I just said it is a woman, and she was a Latino, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Latino.
What was her name?
Yeah. Her name is Claudia.
Go Claudia or Claudia?
Claudia. Yeah,
with a C, right?
Yeah, that's her name. Yes, with a C. With a
Got
C.
it.
Yeah, and guess what? She says she's a big Packer fan as well. So me and her will have a lot in common.
Really? Were you guys talking about old Packer games as she was giving you a lap dance?
Yeah, well, she said, she wants to go to a Packer game one time with me. She wants to go to a Lambeau Field, and I said, all right, I'm gonna get the tickets, and me and her are gonna go there one time and catch a Packer game.
So you're gonna take her to Lambeau?
Yes. I'm taking Lambeau in my car. So, yeah.
Chef Kevin makes a good point. He writes in, Latina is a girl, Latino is a dude.
Yeah, thank you for correcting me. She's Latina. Yeah, Latina. Nice and hot, spicy.
I see.
Yeah. Claudia. Yeah.
Claudia?
Yes.
What did she think the biggest needs were for the Packers this offseason?
Well, she thinks that we need to surround Jordan Love with better weapons. Get rid of that injury-prone Christian Watson. And
she told you this, really?
Yes, she told that we need to get J-Love some weapons and beef up the defense a little bit and extend Josh Jacobs. Well, I think we extend him already. But yeah.
I see.
But
sounds like you had an eventful night. Who did you go with, by the way?
A couple of my homeboys.
A couple of your homeboys.
Yeah.
Hey, what was the occasion?
No, these are my homeboys. These are guys that I work with, and we were all, we decided to, let's have a fun night. You know what I mean? And the strip club I've been before, they haven't been, but let's say, we're gonna have a blast, and we went, and we just enjoyed it.
I see. There's a lot of super chats about this, but I can't read any of them because they're not appropriate, guys. So you're wasting your $2. Jay Quest, Dixon, Big Fella, Kakuka Lake. But A lot of people have questions, VMAC. People have doubts.
All right. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Again, like me, hate me, love me, dislike me, respect me. And I respect women.
So you stand by your take that you do, in fact, respect women.
I do respect women. You know what I mean? I love women to death, man. Like I just, women make me smile. Hell, I'm still a virgin. I want sex, man. I want to have sex with women, man. I'm a virgin. I'm a virgin. I am a virgin, Jake. Like, do you know how desperate I am to have me a woman? I never had sex before. Never.
Oh my
never
God.
had any sex.
First Dorman, now you.
I am a virgin, and I want some woman, man. I want to lay in bed with a woman. You know what I mean? I want to wake up and and have a breakfast in bed from a woman, man. You know what I mean? Like imagine having breakfast in bed with a girl, coming in with a ball with some nice scrambled eggs, bacon, soda. You know what I mean? Sausage, pancakes, waffles. Come on, man. I need it. I need woman.
So your goal is to have basically a woman provide breakfast for you in bed post sweet love.
Yes, man. Yes. I want that, man. I'm lonely. And I think it's I'm lonely, and I need a girlfriend and a woman in my life. I can't take it no more, man. I can't. I just need some sex, man. Something.
All right. Well, I would recommend maybe trying to go out and about and meet people. I don't think you're going to find the woman of your dreams at a strip club.
Yeah, but Claudia said that, she can't have sex with me yet because she's not ready to. All right.
She's also a stripper, B-Mac. That's not how it works.
Yeah, but she said the stripping thing she does for professional reasons, not because she is addicted to it. Look, Claudia says she loves me, but she's not ready to have sex.
I don't think she loves you, B-Mac. I think you're falling in love with a stripper, which is not what you're supposed to do.
Look, man. I just need a woman in my life, man. I just do. Hopefully, Claudia
I agree.
Is that. If not, I just gotta find something.
I don't think you're gonna find that at the strip club. Is my point.
Yeah, man. I get it, Jake, but I'm desperate, man. Like, I am a virgin, and I hate to say it, but I am a virgin. So
there's nothing wrong with that, B-Mac. You don't have to apologize for that. Steve Carell was a virgin until he was 40. They made a whole movie about it.
Yeah, I just, look, man. I just desperate, and hell, Jake, I have to watch porno videos for a change, man. Porno videos.
What do you mean for a change?
I have to watch porn sometimes, man. Like, I know it sounds weird, but
B-Mac, there are people who are married that still do that. That's not a bad thing.
That is a bad thing. That is a bad thing, Jake, because it means that I'm desperate. I'm desperate for some love.
I see. Desperate. Well, look, let me bring on someone who is a married man. He has 3 children, which means he's done the deed at least 3 times. Let's bring on Gary. He's got some advice for you, I'm sure. Hey, Gary.
All right, B-Mac. This is like one of the worst phone calls I've ever heard. The best way to get a chick is to not need a chick. Just master yourself first, right? Be a man that a woman would want to choose, and then the women will come organically. Right? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to insult you, right? But like look at Beast, for example, right? if you were a girl, would you pick Beast? No. So why do you think any girl will, right? So what I'm saying is master yourself first. Take care of yourself. Get yourself being the man that you envision yourself to be. And then the women will just come organically.
Jerry, I want to take your advice because you have experience with this, but I have been a man. You know what I mean? Like I have done everything I need to do to have a woman in my life. I just can't get a woman, man. Like I just can't.
I don't know where you are. I don't know where you are. You're also okay. Like, there's like two things all at once. You're dehumanizing them and putting them on a pedestal, which is a weird combination of things to do, right? Like you're dehumanizing them by going to a strip club and paying them $1 to get naked for you and saying, I like women because I like to go to the beach and watch them play volleyball. Like it's kind of like dehumanizing. And at the same time, you're saying, I need a woman, right? Like if the only thing that you value a woman for is to look at and for sex, you really don't need one, right? Like they're really just for play. So you see what I'm saying here? At the same time, you're putting them on a pedestal. You're also dehumanizing them. You're also like devaluing them by saying the only thing I really want is for them to get naked. You don't really need one then.
Well, first of all, this chick Claudia, she gave me a strip dance for free because she wanted to do.
I had
so I didn't pay her no money.
I had a brief fling. I wouldn't know if I'd call it dated, but I had like would go like she'd come spend the weekend with me and stuff with a stripper that I met in Atlantic City. I would advise not to do that. Yeah. That was probably not a great idea. I probably avoid the strippers. I'd probably avoid girls with cluster B personality disorders. I'd probably avoid those type things.
Yeah, no.
When you go looking for a woman, where do you go? Like the strip clubs? Is that typically where you look for women?
Yes. Yeah, strip clubs. I go to the mall.
That's probably not.
I go to the beach. I go to hell. I mean, school was a place to watch women. You know what I mean? High school, but you know.
You go to high school, look for women. B-Mac, you're 30 years old. You can't go to high school, look for women.
No, I'm talking about when I was in high school. No. I'm talking about
when you were in high school.
Yeah. Yes.
Yo, B-Mac. I want to give you like this, man-to-man advice. My wife's over here, getting a kick out of the show here. So, dude, the first thing, man, I know that hat means something to you. You can't wear that hat when you're going out because like girls are gonna get like the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? Even though that means something to you because of your dad or whatever, but like people see that and they think 6'9", like this guy, he's just trying to look for whatever. But have you tried like dating apps? Like I don't even know the name of the shit. Not Tinder, but like Match and I don't even know the dating apps, but like whatever. Have you tried apps before?
Apps to like you talk about to get like a date.
To meet somebody, like a dating app. Have you ever heard of that?
They
have like
I heard of it, but
yeah. So here, I'm gonna do a quick search here for you. I don't even know the name of these.
Why can't you just go out and talk to a chick?
Everything's done today, honestly. Like all my friends and whatever, they've all met their girlfriends and whatever on apps, dude. It's like the new thing.
Yeah, I know. Look, I've been married 13 years, so I just missed like this thing. You're never gonna get a girl out of your league from an app. Right, because all she has is your message, and she probably gets 100 messages.
Well, that's how you meet. So, dude, download Bumble, download Bumble, and Hinge. All right, and start there. And a couple pictures of yourself, a little bit of a bio, and see where it goes. It might take a little while, but try that. Definitely stay away from the strip clubs. The reason why you got a free strip club, a free lap dance at the strip club, is because she knows you're gonna come back and pay. It's a ploy to make money. Don't fall for no strip club type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That's not love, dude. But try the app. You'll meet somebody, man. And you know, don't say you're desperate, man. Just do your thing. Wear nice clothes.
I will smell out desperation like a dog smells out fear. Don't be desperate.
Yeah,
All right, man.
yeah.
Hold up. Hey, B-Mac, listen. You only need 3 things to get women. What's good, everybody? You need to work out. Make sure you got muscles.
Okay.
You need to make sure your appearance look good. You got to look sexy for the women. Get a nice haircut. And get some tattoos.
Okay.
Women love tattoos, bro. They love them.
And
that's it.
Tattoos. I got
That's
tattoos.
it. But you need a lot. You need to look like a biker.
Yeah.
Because they want to touch it and see, oh, what is this? What's that? What's this? Oh, you have muscles. Oh my God. You don't even have to do much. All you got to do is just talk sweet to them and listen. You must listen. Listen to everything they say. Women love to talk.
Yeah,
listen.
women love to talk. They don't care about you at all. Like they don't care what you did today. They don't care what you do. Right? If they ask you what you do for a living, say this: I get to do what I love. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm well paid for it. But I don't want to talk about me. What do you do? Because they don't care what you have to say. They don't care. They just want to. They want to tell you about them. Women don't care what you have to say ever, and that won't change.
Definitely, man. That's easy.
Change the subject back to them.
You want a woman that bad? Go pay for something. If you just want sex, I mean, there's all types of women. Midgets. You get a midget. You get a midget. Hey Gary, you can get a midget. What's wrong with that?
I would not encourage anyone to pay for.
There's nothing wrong with having a little conversation, right?
I once had a boss who told me that he doesn't pay for sex. He pays them to shut up. That's
it's that.
I would not encourage that. I wouldn't encourage that.
I think we covered a lot of ground there with B-Mac. You got some sage advice from Gary, PBM, and Bomber. I mean, Bomber literally called us from a strip club. Bomber, is Claudia in? Is that the woman that B-Mac was talking about?
She's not working tonight, man.
No?
That's Friday nights.
Gotcha. All right. I appreciate it, man. Great advice. He's not wrong. By the way, there's a guy out there who I believe also wants to weigh in on what B-Mac could do to potentially get laid. Let's bring him on right now. Beast, what do you think? What could B-Mac do?
Stone Cold once said, "Here's a toothpaste, my friend. What you do is you pour it out on that little toothbrush. Scrub them gimmicks, in your mouth. They call it teeth. You'll get all that brown and yellow shit off your teeth, and your breath don't smell like a cockroach, And the best part is, let me show you this. Deodorant. It's a miracle worker. You put it under your arms, You get me? You stinky Viking. Also, you also need a good old cologne. Fresh cologne. You want to look manly. And also, lose the 69 hat, my friend. And if you want to look good, you want to look, and get a tattoo right here, but make it a nice one. Something that the chicks want. Something the chicks that'll dig it. You want to look good, get a nice piece suit, maybe in black or in blue, a nice white shirt, a nice black tie, black pants, black shoes, black socks. Bingo. I just got you a nice set right there. Go to Men's Warehouse. Do that. You can spend $300 there. You'll take $300 out. Go to Men's Warehouse. Go get yourself a nice pair of pants, a nice shirt, a nice tie, nice shoes, some nice socks, and a nice belt. And you'll look like a champion when you go to that strip club. But remember, don't be surprised, okay? Just be you. Do your part and enjoy. Don't just go up to the girls and give them money like that. Let them come to you. Okay? Thank you.
Beast, Big Fella wrote in that you've been reformed. His work is done. He's retiring as Warden of the Hole. A happy Storm Rocks is good for Asmania.
Gracias, Big Fella. One of these days, you and I should go for tacos. You, me, and Jake will all go for tacos. Well, we'll go to a taco joint, get some tacos, and if you want all beer, you know what? I'll even throw it in, but European only, because I used to drink European back in my heyday. Thanks, guys.
See you know what time it is. A peace breaker. 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he got
Peace breaker, everyone. A jolly mood today. Some super chats I got to get caught up on. Michael says, great hat, Jake. No signs of mold either. No. Joe Namath wore this back in 1969. I put it in a time capsule, and it's brand new. Thomas Roseman gifted a membership earlier. He's in the raffle for one. We're light on memberships. We've only added 4 of this show. Reminder, $20 super chats or gifting a membership gets you in the next raffle. Curtis Martin signed helmets, the grand prize, followed by Wayne Corbett jersey, autographed, authenticated. Signed Don Maynard helmet. Signed, or not signed, but a replica Joe Namath ring. And Aaron Glenn autographed trading card. Those are the prizes for our 15th as Maniac raffle. A lot of these super chats I can't read because they involve the BMAC call that are just wildly inappropriate, but I appreciate everyone. Weed says that Bobby Midnight show might be better than this. Look, Bobby's got a great show. If you like his show, God bless. Luppy wants to know, wow, Jake, where's the show going? I can only put the people on hold on the air, man. I can't throw Kyle Clifton on if he's not on. All right. I'm doing what I can here, people. Ladies and gentlemen, open phone lines if you want in on the conversation. Let's check back in with the guy who was on earlier, giving some sage wisdom to BMAC. Gary's next. Hey, Gary.
I don't even know where to go with this show anymore. I had a football point when I called in, and then BMAC's call kind of just took it in a completely different direction. Coming on a show that's 96% men and saying, I'm a virgin, I just need a woman. It's not a great look for BMAC. I'm sure you're going to get plenty of advice. Most of it will probably be bad. Some of it may be good. I would stay away from the strip clubs.
That's what I told him.
I briefly had a fling, we'll call it, with a stripper. And
well, let's stop right there. You briefly had a fling with a stripper?
Yeah, I was like 23 or 24 at the time. I called my mom on April Fool's Day and told her that she was pregnant and I was going to marry her. And I was like expecting my mom to have like a horrified reaction. Actually broke down in tears of how happy she was. And I was like, no, Mom, this is a joke. It's not pregnant. I'm not marrying a stripper. Like,
Wait
this
a second. Wait a
April Fool's Day. God,
so your parents knew that you were dating this stripper.
My mom found out that she was a stripper. Yeah. I wasn't really dating her. She'd come, like, she lives in the same town as Jay Graves, believe it or not.
Okay.
And like I was living in Brooklyn at the time. She'd come like visit and like stay the weekend with me. Like we weren't like she wasn't like my girlfriend or anything. But like I met her at the strip club, and like her sister.
Isn't that when they work the most though? The weekend shifts.
I guess. I mean, it wasn't like every weekend. Like this probably went on for about 4 or 5 months, and she'd come over like once a month, and like she'd spend the weekend, like that. And then one time it was like a Tuesday, and I went to the gym and stuff, like, and I was out all day. And I was like, I don't really know if I trust this girl in my apartment by herself. Like this kid, like, am I gonna come home and is everything gonna be missing? Like, I don't really know if this is a good idea. But yeah, that I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend dating a stripper. First, they're not paying their way through college. They're usually paying themselves through a habit, to be honest.
I see. So you didn't see the long-term potential with this one, I'm guessing.
No, I just thought it was cool that I actually pulled a stripper, and like she was kind of hot, like, to be honest. So I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. And then yeah, it was fun. It wasn't going to be anything serious. I wasn't going to actually marry the stripper. But it had its perks while it lasted.
I see.
Have you dated a stripper, Jake?
Have I dated a stripper? I have not.
Yeah.
No.
I would stay clear of that.
Yeah. Mimosa is very offended by your comment. So strippers are thieves, Gary.
No, she wasn't. I just Not that I know of. I don't think she took anything from me. I was just like one of those things. Look, I'm not saying she's a thief. I'm saying if she's willing to get naked and grind on you for $1, then what else would she be willing to do for money? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know if that is a apples to apples comp there, but
no, she didn't steal anything from me that I know of. I don't think she did. I didn't see anything missing. It was just like, okay, Jake, you don't have to be you had a stripper at a strip club in Atlantic City in your apartment by yourself. Would you trust that everything's going to be there when you get back?
Well, you said you were dating this person for several months.
Dating was the right word. Yeah,
but like it wasn't like it was a one-off where like you just brought some random stripper back to your place. You apparently knew this person. You saw her multiple times.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was the smartest thing to do. I was 23. I if I was a single man now, I probably wouldn't do the same thing over again.
I see. A membership has been gifted by Matthew. Matthew, you're in the raffle for one. If you got the membership from, thank you. Super chat from Kyle, who checks in. Kyle, I responded to your email today. Thank you very much for the interest. Hey, I was a DJ at a strip club, paid for college, man, but had strict no touch the stripper policy. Clearly, Gary didn't have that.
No, I didn't. I don't think I touched a stripper there. So what happened was like her sister worked there too, not as a stripper, like as the cocktail waitress. Okay. And she said, my sister's into you. So I'm like, no, that's cap. Like, that's BS. So I was like, so I tipped her. And I said, if she means it, give me the $1 back and put her phone number on it. And she did. So I was like, this has got to be a fake number. The next day I called it and it was her number. And then like, it just went from there. Yeah. It wasn't like a long lasting relationship. I wasn't in love with her. This is not the girl that ghosted me when I was like 19 years old. This is not like that.
Tom Aces, salient points by Gary.
I try to make some here and there.
Yeah, I mean, this BMAC call, I have a funny feeling will have a lot of ramifications going forward.
Where do you think this does with his ranking? Do you think it hurts or helps his standing?
I think it should help him. I appreciate the transparency.
I appreciate the transparency too. I appreciate the honesty, but god dang, like, wow, really? Where does BMAC get ranked? This is interesting. Like, where he's going to be in the tournament, but like, is he like a 13 seed or is he like a 5 seed?
I don't know, but if he's 2 underseeded, he could really go on a run.
He can. I don't know. I don't like. That's up to the audience. Does that call hurt him or help him? I don't
really. The committee's got to seed him, but then it's a matter of when he gets matched up with someone. Is this call going to help him advance?
Like, I guess. See. People call me a sexist, right? Which,
yes, which is true. But continue.
I mean, I guess it just depends on how you define sexist, right? Like, I guess I could go either way on that.
Well, to be clear, you said that women are bad at math, right?
Yeah.
They can't they can't drive,
particularly parking, but driving in general, mostly parking. Yeah.
Okay, so they're bad at math and they're bad at driving.
And logic. They're making decisions in general. Did you ever ask a chick where she wants to eat? You're going to get a half-hour explanation, and it's going to end with, I don't know. So you might as well just pick, right? So logic, making decisions, math, driving, specifically parking, parallel parking to be most specific. Yeah. They're not good at those things. But I don't say things like, I respect women, so I go to strip clubs and stare at them at the beach. That's kind of really creepy. Like, I value women to the extent that I like to look at them naked or nearly naked. Because that was everything that he said, why he respected women. I would say that is worse than me saying women are bad at math. Because he just basically devalued them to being naked for him, for his enjoyment. That's how he values women. I mean, is that how? Yeah. He didn't give any other value to him. And said, I need a woman because I need to have sex. See, his whole value for women is simply sex. And look, if that's all a woman's offering, maybe that's all you're interested in. I don't know.
Kyle writes in, "Hey Gary, do you think they had strippers on the moon?"
No, because no one's been on the moon. But as soon as a man gets there, there will shortly be strippers thereafter.
Shout out to 25. Just got home and his helmet's here. 25. What did you win, the Klecko helmet or the Gastineau one? Either way, congrats, man. Happy for you. Oh, actually, or did you get a name? I don't even know what you won. 25. What did you win again? But congrats. I'm glad it arrived. Let's see. David wants to know, do you tip women with butter?
No, I don't. Look, strip clubs are degenerate. I haven't been to a strip club in, I don't know, 15 years probably. Don't go to strip clubs. All right. They're degenerate. Nothing good happens at a strip club.
I remember strip club in about
Coco?
4 months.
Do you remember Coco Crisp, the outfielder for the Indians and the Red Sox?
Yeah.
I met him at a strip club once. That was interesting.
What did you say to him?
He walked in, and like you could tell he was a professional athlete. He's like tremendously jacked, right? He had this diamond in his ear, it's like $100,000. And I'm with my boy, and this is a strip club we frequented a lot, right? And like we're kind of looking at him, and the bouncer goes, "It's Coco Crisp," and they were playing the Yankees that week when he was on the Red Sox. So I don't know. He was with a stripper, Alexis, I remember, and we just kind of like sat on the couch and kind of talked baseball with him. He was cool.
Did you say anything like, "Man, it's kind of ironic that a guy named Coco is here at a strip club"?
Yeah, there's 5 strippers with the same name. That is ironic. Yeah. No, I didn't. That's an interesting point. That's a little bit ironic. Yeah.
I see. Man, I mean, I just feel like we have a lot of work to do with BMAC. I feel like it's our job as maniacs to try and get them laid.
Well, like trying, it's like trying to get a knockout. It's not going to come that way, right? Like you just got to let it happen organically. You got to put yourself in the right position to let it happen. And it's just work on yourself as a man. Master the things that have nothing to do with women, and then the women will come organically. And the guy you had on with me, I forget what his name was, gave some good advice. Get yourself in shape, make yourself the man that you want to be, and then women will come, right? Like if you just try to get women, they're not going to be interested in you. Be the man that they would want to pick, and then they will flock to you.
Did women flock to you back in your heyday?
Look, I'm not saying women flocked to me. I got any chick I wanted to, but it was never a problem. It wasn't like I was never in BMAC spot. I'm not saying, oh, I got every girl I wanted to. I said on the show, the girl I loved for 2 years ghosted me one day, right? Like, you know, I was never in a position like BMAC.
Luppy writes in, Gary, if you build it, they will come.
That's right. That's right. That's well said, Luppy.
Bo writes in, knockouts don't matter if you throw enough jabs.
I suppose not. I suppose not.
Now, full disclosure, Gary, there was a 10-spot of memberships gifted by Mimosa. I've been writing in the chat, as have several people, being like, is this a bounty or not to get rid of you? Because I think Mimosa didn't like your comments about women, but she has yet to answer if it was just gifting 10 because she wants it on the raffle, or this was specific to get rid of your ass.
Business is business. If you need to get rid of me, get rid of me. Like I understand it's all business. You need to get rid of me, you get rid of me.
Well, she hasn't declared it, though. If you gift 10 randomly, you got to write them right in the chat. This is a bounty if we have a caller on. Those are the rules.
Yeah. And then $50, I'd get rid of me for 50.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? Yeah.
100%. I got dinner to eat.
Yeah.
And I'm hungry.
And you could probably buy dinner for $50 in New York City.
Well, the problem is YouTube's going to get 30% of that. So right off the bat, we're starting at 35.
Can you buy dinner for $35 in New York City?
Depends where you go. Can you get Chipotle with that? Yes.
Okay.
Can you do like a sit down dinner and get like an app and a meal? No.
What do you get? Like a bowl? What do you get from Chipotle? Like one of the bowls with chicken in it or steak? What's your typical order, and how much does that cost in 2025 in New York City?
I will answer you in a moment, but Mimosa has clarified she just wanted to be in the raffle. So Gary, you're still a free man on this show. You have not been sent to the hall.
I appreciate that, Mimosa.
Ladies and
Is
gentlemen,
that a real name? That's an interesting name.
That's her name. Yeah, Mimosa's awesome. She's based in Jacksonville. Huge Jets fan. Love Mimosa.
Jacksonville, Texas, or
Florida. Sorry, Gainesville, not Jacksonville. Gainesville, Florida.
Gainesville,
10
Florida.
spot, channel memberships from Mimosa, officially on the board. Monica Alicorn, Fab 5 Durf, John, Austin Samsa, Grinch Mob, Jet for Life, Sam Caruso, Skillet McGee, ADR, all receiving channel memberships. Make sure you guys have term memberships on if you haven't got one yet. Get a gifted membership sent your way. Mimosa, we'll get you down for 10 in the raffle.
You know who's from Jacksonville?
What?
You know who's from Jacksonville, Texas?
Josh McCown.
The crybaby.
Josh McCown.
The crybaby. He's from Jacksonville, Texas.
Happy birthday to the late, great Burt Reynolds. That's from Gator McCluskey.
How old would Burt Reynolds have been?
I don't know. Ask Gator.
78, I would guess. It's just a guess. How old would he be, Gator? How old would Burt Reynolds, the great Burt Reynolds, be today if he was alive?
JR Jet checks in. So AR has to end his stint on McAfee, but every other player could do all the podcasts and appearances they want. I don't blame AR for not agreeing. I agree with that, but also, JR, we don't even know if Aaron, if one, this actually happened, and two, we don't even know if Aaron didn't agree or did not agree. Like, we have no idea. Peter Schrager said the Jets already had their mind made up when they met with Aaron. So, which is it? I think the reality is they wanted to move on. That's what happened here.
I don't know how the players union would respond to it, but if I could put in their contract, no podcasts, I would try to do that. Like, there's nothing good that comes from it from a locker room perspective of going on these shows. Again, I don't know, like, if you could do that, but if you could, I would try to get all of my players to have a no McAfee, a no podcast clause in their contract.
82 when he died.
82. And so 82 in 2008. Wow, he's older than I thought. Okay.
Boomtown. Couldn't help but notice Mahomes crying at the end of the big game. Definitely not a leader of men.
Mahomes was crying.
According to Boomtown.
Yeah. No, I would agree, Boomtown. Did crying help them win the Super Bowl? I didn't see him cry, so I can't comment on this. He's sitting there weeping that we lost a football game.
Oh, yeah.
Get out there, get in the film room, get in the gym, figure out how to deliver the Super Bowl next year. Crying's not going to fix this.
Comment here from Clay Hobbs, who writes in, I'm excited for this rebuild. Interested to see Muji strip this thing down and build it back through the trenches, stack the war chest, and grind the draft/free agency in 25 and 26, and be ready in 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, today's moron of the day.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Not even worth addressing.
I agree with throwing. 2-year rebuild now.
Yeah, 2 years now.
2 years
build the trenches as if the offensive line doesn't have 4 of its 5 guys in place, and the defensive line doesn't have an all-pro defensive tackle, a Pro Bowl edge, and a guy who just had 10.5 sacks on it. But okay, build the trenches.
Football's a year-to-year season. There's no 2-year rebuilds in football. Like, that's not how it works. It's not baseball. It's not, let's go with the youth movement and start a bunch of AAA guys. No, football, one bad year, you can be good the next year. Look at Washington. They've been bad for 100 years. They got the quarterback right, and now you would assume Washington is going to compete for years to come as long as their quarterback stays healthy.
Gary, before we get out of here, what is one thing you want everyone to know, especially those out there who might be virgins like BMAC, about the art of pursuing women? Give people some more salient advice.
If you're only pursuing a woman for sex, that's all you're going to like. That's all she has to offer. This is not a long-term thing, right? Like, I understand. I get it. I was that guy once too when I was 23, right? Like, if a woman's only offering sex, all right, that's all I'm interested in. That's not the woman you want to pursue. Become the man that you envision, and once you become that man, then women will come to you organically. You don't have to work on trying to pick up chicks. Once you become the man that you want to be, women will want to be with you.
Is your nanny single? Maybe we could set her up with BMAC.
She's not. She's dating the backup quarterback on the University of North Texas, who's afraid he's going to lose his scholarship because the head coach is about to get fired.
Ooh.
Yeah, the one that brought him in is going to get canned, and he's afraid he's going to lose his scholarship. I told him he'll catch on somewhere else. He had crazy stuff. He hasn't played yet, really, because he was redshirted, and then he didn't play as a redshirt freshman. So he has no stats, right? Like he's got nothing to show but his high school film, and he wasn't that recruited out of high school. This coach got him into UNT, and he's like, I'm gonna lose my scholarship and not be able to play next year anyway.
All right, well, we'll work on it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time, Gary.
All right, thanks, Jake.
Plants are trying to kill me, so I think I'll eat a stick of butter.
All right, Operation Get BMAC Laid, folks, is underway. Did I miss a super chat? I don't know if I did. I want to say I didn't, but I want to make sure we check. All right, let's get to some more calls before we wrap. The Lup Man is on the line. Hello, Luppy.
Hey, Jake. I was a little hesitant to call. I'm a little scared about what's going on. I might say the wrong thing and put my foot in my mouth. You know what's going on. A little crazy.
Well, Luppy, are you also a virgin, as BMAC said?
Yeah, explain it to my two kids then, you know what I'm saying? No, definitely not. But if you want to get into the BMAC realm, listen, he needs an Asmaniac makeover. That's what BMAC needs. First of all, he's got to turn off the TV. Turn off the TV, okay? Take a shower and get out off the couch, all right? Get out of that room, okay? Meet people, you know? You need to get a hobby and do something. Build yourself. And then the next thing, BMAC, love yourself.
Right.
Be okay with yourself, and they will be all right. The girls will come. That's what I have to say. You know, all about love. And from the up, man. It's all about love. Love yourself first, and other people can love you. But let's see the flaws in you. That's exactly what you need to do. With that being said, I'm a little upset you didn't ask Will about Joe B's opinion of having the ex-Giant quarterback as our quarterback or even backup quarterback. You didn't bring that up. I was a little upset you didn't do that, Jake. You know,
do we really have to talk about Daniel Jones?
I didn't want to, but it was just that you had the show earlier about it. And I thought maybe I'd like to take Will's take on it. You know,
I'm trying to forget about it. I can't do it. I think Will would probably say he's better than some of the other options, but we're good.
Yeah, no. Listen, right now I really see the Jets just sticking with Tyrod Taylor. I really do. I think they're going to stick with him and maybe Travis as the second or the third and pick somebody up in the draft. You know, get everything. He's got to go through a year of what we have and who's good and who's bad. And then I think the following year we're going to make the leap. I think that's what we're going to do. We do have a lot of talent on this team, like I've said before. But obviously Aaron's not here. He's not going to be here. And it's sad in my book because I wanted to see him with a different coaching staff. But I'm hearing like schemes are different. And I also hear from the fan and stuff that they were obviously asking questions of him that you know the answers for. So either way with this stuff that they talked about that, hey, you can't be on the McAfee show. You can't be this. Aaron Rodgers is not a guy that you control. So they're asking him questions, things to do that he didn't want to actually do. And you knew it as well as I did. If you want somebody to walk, that's the way to do it. I'm worried about the cap concern and what we're going to do with that. But I think, like you said, we're in for another 4-win season in order to rebuild for the next year. And it sucks because our team is not a rebuild team. It's a restart team. And I think we can actually win if they make the right moves. What do you think?
If they have a perfect offseason, then sure. Feels unlikely though. I think we're looking at anywhere from a 4 to a 7-win team next year right now.
Yeah. So we're buckling up just to take it, I guess. And we're gonna.
That's what we do. All we know is how to take it. We never win.
Unless we get lightning in a bottle like Fitzpatrick's season. You're right
exactly.
about that.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Jake.
Lumpy, thank you. And that realistically, that's what we're looking at. If you're going to tell me it's Tyrod Taylor and some of these other guys who suck as the options behind him. And Tyrod doesn't suck. He just doesn't stay healthy. But we take it. All right. All we know how to do is take it. All right. Or when do we give it? I'm tired of taking it. I want to give it. All right. How about that for a slogan, Aaron Glenn? Tired of taking it. How about we fucking give it? Because I'm tired of fucking losing. Sorry. I'm so pissed off with everything with this franchise right now.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
No, we're built for losing. Let's win. Let's go. Let's win games. JR Jet with a super chat. I agree that crying doesn't win football games, but you can't just get in the film room and three-peat next year, Gary. Not making that kind of history had to be painful. Jet season begins now. Hell yeah. It's already begun by getting rid of our best chance to win next year at quarterback. See you later. Let's hope. The plan is great, though. The other moves are awesome. Let's hope. That's it. Peter Castro says, Jake, please, I'm studying to be a priest. You know, it's very interesting, Peter, because, you know, I didn't take you as a guy to be a priest after some of your famous calls on this show.
Our coaching staff stinks. The team is never prepared. They're undisciplined. They make a million mistakes. And the coaching staff is terrible. He doesn't know what he's doing. Hockey and him are like having two drug addicts on the sidelines. They're no good. And if Rodgers doesn't fix this, we're all going to kill ourselves. What happens after Rodgers? They have no plan for that. It's going to be 10 more years of being the shit.
Well, guess what, folks? We're now in that part of the prophecy. That was from 2 years ago from Peter Castro. Now we're in the what happens after Rodgers phase. And Peter Castro has already said it's 10 more years of shit, so buckle up. Here we go. It's only been 14 years without the playoffs. What's another 10? M. Lemon says, your pessimism is sickening, bro. Do you want me to lie to you? Like, should I tell you it's all going to be great when I don't believe it? I was about as positive as anyone that did daily content about this team the last 2 years. So I'm going to tell you haven't maybe seen me like this, but I'm going to call it how it is. I want to win. I want to win games. That should be the number one goal, winning football games. Dante says, I would support this decision if AG or Muji had experience doing this and succeeding. I mean, that's part of this too. It's two first-timers. You know? If Brian Flores made this decision, I feel probably, to be honest, would feel a lot better about it because at least he's experienced. But we don't know. We hope Aaron Glenn's awesome, but we don't know. I hope he's the best coach ever. I guess time will tell. Let's see. Mimosa says, I love Peter Castro. Don't we all? Castro wants Fields. I think part of the reason why he wants Fields is because even for Peter Castro standards, that's a tough name to screw up. Hennessy says, I'm kind of glad we're back to no expectations. I guess. But I subscribe to what Rex Ryan said. Last year, hey, we were under the radar. F that. The best place to be is when expectations are high. Like, that's what it should be. But I guess, hey, we're under the radar. Great. Let's have a 2009 season. I'll take the AFC Championship game this year. Peacebreaker's agent writes in, I've been here every day for I don't know how many years now, and you are by far the most positive and level-headed Jets content creator, in my opinion. Well, thank you. I don't know if I'm always level-headed. I'm passionate. But I'm usually pretty positive. I am. That's how you know it's real. Ladies and gentlemen, he gave some sage advice to BMAC earlier on how to woo women. And he's back for more. Purple Belt Mike is next. Hey, Mike.
I just wanted to weigh in on the people talking about, like, if a coach is crying or whatever. Jason Kelsey, before the Super Bowl, was crying about the terrorist attack and the people that he met. And so was Rex Ryan. And so was Sirianni. So you mean to tell me that Sirianni is not a good coach who just had a Super Bowl winning season and then prior to that had his coordinators leave and refill his coordinators? having emotion is not a bad thing. So I don't think that means you're weak. Some people are emotional. Some people show a lot of emotion. I don't think that matters one way or the other. That's
What
a
do you think
stupid take.
BMAC showed when he admitted that he was a virgin on the air?
Ah, I don't know. I felt bad for him, actually.
Do you think it was a ploy to try and get some sympathy with the audience who have been hammering him lately?
If it did, it worked for me.
See?
I will never say a bad thing about BMAC again.
Maybe BMAC is playing 4D chess.
Yeah, maybe he is, but I don't think so.
Now, your thoughts on the advice that you gave, PBM. Have you reflected on it? Do you think you steered him on the right path?
Well, I have plenty of friends that met people on dating apps. That's the new way to do things. So, yeah, he should do that. And if he just wants to get some, then go on Tinder. Shouldn't have a problem with that.
Bumble as well?
I thought Bumble and Hinge were like better.
Hinge is the best for like if he's actually trying to like find someone to date. If he's just trying to get laid, I'd say Tinder for sure, and then Bumble.
Oh, see, I gave him wrong advice then, 'cause I thought Bumble was like a Hinge one.
That's
But-
closer. It's closer to Tinder than it is Hinge.
Oh, well, I gave him one side and then the other.
Christian Mingle can also be an option for him.
Yeah. Poor B-Mac, man. Yeah.
Would you ever
Hang in
join
there,
him
buddy.
on the beach when he goes and watches the women? Would you ever?
Oh, jeez. I don't.
hang out with
You
him?
gotta stop saying that, man. That you gotta stop saying that. Even if it's true, just you gotta stop saying that, dude. You gotta. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about football. Um, have you looked at free agents yet? Like, have you even hit that market yet? Free agency? Anyone that like you really like yet, or not
No,
yet?
I haven't even got there yet. We will soon. Combine's coming up. That's when that's going to start.
I want to get Javon Holland.
I will give you one guy I want. He just in the Super Bowl. I want Justin Reed, who I covered in Houston. He's a great locker room guy, a versatile player, safety.
Would he realistically come here though?
Money talks, man. He hasn't really been paid yet. Like
Hmm.
he's been paid, but like I think he's. I don't know if the Kansas City Chiefs would keep him.
If we cut Devontae, which we are, we can afford him then, potentially.
I mean, even if they kept Devontae, they'd rework his deal and be able to afford him. Yeah, the Jets are going to have a lot of cap space. Not as much as they've had in the past, but they're going to have money to make moves.
I was under the impression we only had like 30 million or something like that.
Nah, with a couple cuts, they'll have more than that.
All right, well, thanks for having me on.
Big fella says, why not just go talk to women? It's not that hard to do.
Big fella, I'll message you in the Discord. I don't think that's his strong suit. You should start with the apps. Build some confidence.
We got to build him a good profile. If he's
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, I want to help him get his wardrobe down. I will help him out. Start with the apps, and then we'll go from there.
And to be clear, we're not talking about appetizers from Applebee's after 10 that are half off, right?
Yeah. I don't even know where he lives. Where does he live? He doesn't live in New York, right?
I think he's in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, Purple Belt Mike. Yeah, we were talking about Applebee's and we were talking about apps. There's only one guy I could go to weigh in.
You know what time it is? A beast breaker. 666. I'm
Incredible.
Take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he got
All right. Where do we go from here? Beastbreaker, your thoughts on half price apps after 10 from Applebee's?
Not this YMCA dance, baby. You know what time it is?
The man who would kick your ass. And then he'd gobble-goo.
Bravo, Beast. A little YMCA. Yeah. Great job, Beast. Love it. Mimosa says Beast would be a great Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho. Hey, Beast, give me a ho, ho, ho. One more time. One more time.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Holy crap, here comes Beastbreaker 666.
Why don't you get your fat ass on a treadmill and go the distance with me?
Is that Bobby Midnight?
I'm not into politics, and I already told you that.
I might be big, but I'm going to be bad enough to put you out.
Beastbreaker always has some salient points.
I mean, that's as salient as it gets right there, folks. What a way to end the show, huh? Shout out to all the Asmaniacs who tuned in. Great shows today with Beningo and Will Parkinson. Great calls today. B-Mac's virginity being announced. Gary's wooing women advice. I mean, what more do you want? What more do you need? Jets football, baby. Take it all in. All of it. Purple Ball Mike writes in. That's what B-Mac sounds like after the first time. Roseanne Gorman says, great 2 shows today. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyhow, thank you again for your support to each and every one of you. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We got the best listeners in all sports. I end today's show with a message. The message is, go Jets. And also, make sure you tune in tomorrow because we got some awesome guests who will be joining us. I won't say who, but I will tell you what. It will be awesome. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night.
Or Jets Talk here on the Nutbuster Hotline. And Jake Klein is up next. What's going on, Jake?
Hey, Fake. Thanks for taking my call. Look, man, I call into each and every show on YouTube, including the cooking channels, and I have to say that this is the most ridiculous show I've ever seen on YouTube. I know you can't tell from my expressionless face, but I'm completely horrified with your presentation here. I mean, I've gotten almost nothing out of this show from you, not a single piece of Jets information that's worth a damn. Again, you couldn't tell how upset I am from my emotionless face, but I'm disgusted and will never call back. You suck, Fake.
Hey, you Jake Klein person who looks like an older version of me. How dare you talk like that to the Jets and our ass, man? Shame on you. I hope you fall down and hurt your face.
Now let's head on over to Florida State and check in with the great Ricky New York. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, Fake. Look, I got my eye on about 30 different players who went to Florida State and the Jets should pick up, but did my research using an old Commodore 64 computer while smoking a bung filled with a combination of chocolate Thai weed and ground up old Marlboro cigarettes. I'm higher than Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg combined.
Of course you are.
Not much else to offer today other than a reminder that Gayer is a total douchebag. Later, Fake.
Can't argue that. Back to the Nutbuster Hotline. Green Bay Packers fan Bernard. Hey, be back.
Hi, Fake. I really like your show. It's fantabulous, just like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, man, Brunch is the best. What are you watching there behind you?
It's nothing fake. Don't worry. I have a question about the Jets O-line.
Maybe turn that off then. It's a family show, my man.
No, really, it's no big deal. Honestly, I don't ever even watch that TV.
It's not nothing, buddy. It looks like my grandparents making out.
It just plays 24 hours a day, and I can't figure out how to turn it off.
Well, maybe pull the plug out of the wall.
I know, but I have no idea how to turn it off or even change the channel. So whatever comes on there, I can't do anything about it.
Damn, I'll let you go, B-Mac, just in case that movie gets any more graphic.